All right, guess we'll get started, guys. Thank you and welcome for coming to the April Cocktails and Conversations event. Well, I want to say thank you so much for coming out tonight. We have Sharon Weber in the house, and she is from she's got a place in Delray Beach, Florida, and she's also from the Boston area. She's been a corporate trainer for the past 15 years for Fortune 500 companies, which prompted her to write this book, Hot in the Pot, and which is a survival guide to surviving in the corporate America world. Now, I'm not going to go into any further. I want you to be the person that's talking about it. So without further ado, if you want to give a nice little clap to Sharon Weber.
Thank you for having me. Let me just ask, raise your hand if you're phony. You phony? Raise your hand. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Hey, be proud. If you're phony, be proud. When we think about being phony, you think, oh, well, I'm not really phony. I always wonder if phony people do raise their hands, right? So what I'd like to talk about tonight is this whole thing about authenticity and the power of authenticity. And how I kind of became aware of this is the Post-it story, which some of you know, the Post-it story. All right? I'm a contractor, so I get hired to go into companies and do trainings. Well, one company asked me to come in to take over a position for like 3 or 4 months while they were recruiting for that position. So I was really excited. It was like 3 or 4 months worth of solid work, and I was, taking the commuter boat into work, and I was so excited, and I was meeting all my new colleagues, and I was just thrilled, right? Well, 6 weeks later, I'm taking the commuter boat into work. I'm meeting all my old colleagues every day, same thing. And I was just feeling like I was like leaking out of me. Like my real self was leaking out of me. And so it was February, it was a dark day, and I actually had a window in my office, but it didn't matter because it just looked at the building next door. And so I'm on the phone, and I've got a zillion emails and a zillion phone mails. So during the phone mails, on my desk were like a handful of Caribbean-colored Post-it notes. The little ones, the square ones, the big ones, So I had my phone like this, and I started making designs with the Post-its. I put the fuchsia ones and the canary yellow ones, and because they're sticky on one side, they was like against the grain and with the grain. So I started doing this, kind of like doodling, right? Well, by the end of the week, my whole office was completely wallpapered with these Post-its, and they were fanned and bobbing and around my desk, and they brought me so much alive. I was like, the color was bringing me back alive. And other people were coming in, and they were like, oh my God, I love coming by here, and I was more productive, and I was feeling more energy, until one morning, I was adding to it, and it was a message from my manager. Looks like someone's on psychedelic drugs, take them down. And my heart kind of sank, but it was a temporary job, so I wasn't going to fight the battle. So I got my basket, I started pulling them down, and people were coming by, they're like, what are you doing? It's so bright, I said, well, I guess it's inappropriate. And as I look back now, it was, there are companies that say you can only have 3 personal items on your desk. There's like real restrictions to that. And here I am fanning the whole. But I was talking to a colleague about it, and she said, yeah, it's like the boiled frog syndrome. Does anybody know what the boiled frog syndrome is? At first I went, oh, not that we're boiling any frogs, but if you wanted to, and you tried to put a frog in a pot of hot boiling water, it would squirm and squiggle and jump out, right? But if you put it in a pot of tepid water and increase the temperature 1 degree at a time, it would adjust unconsciously 1 degree at a time and eventually adjust to, sadly, its own demise. And so that's what sparked me to write the book, Hot in the Pot, A Survival Guide to the Real You in the Corporate World. Because I felt that my real self was that frog.